What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Let us get started. Looking at the market cap, we are currently at 142.5 bill, an increase of about 3 or 4 bill from Monday's video. Bitcoin is sitting at above $4,000. There are a couple of gainers in our long-term portfolio. EOS gained over 13%, or close to 13% in the last day or so. BNB's up 10% in the last week. And we have Cardano coming in strong at almost 26% in the last week. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. All three of these were actually in the trade alerts at different levels. Obviously, BNB we've been scaling into since November. And if you look here, BNB's up 235% since we started scaling in November, and it has only seen a couple of retracements of about 10% on the way up, and we are seeing a current retracement now and a bounce back. But ever since BNB launched its launch pad, it has honestly been parabolically rallying. You'll see there's an article here from what is this, Bitcoin.com. I think this is Roger Ver's site, but it's basically talking about the different exchanges and how their launch pads have propelled those native exchange coins in terms of price. We saw earlier this week, obviously, BitMax, which nobody really ever used or heard of, but it's up 6x in a month. And it launched its launchpad platform as well. And what these launchpads are basically an alternative to ICOs, right? They're called IEOs, which is initial exchange offering, and it's just a different way to onboard new tokens and make them available for sale to investors. So the big one obviously was BitTorrent token on Binance. It was marred in controversy by some of those in the crypto community, but we'll leave that aside. This is all just to say that the native coins of these exchanges, so KuCoin shares, BitMax, as we talked about, Binance Coin, and there's a few others. Wobi Prime is up 2x in a month due to the announcement of their launchpad as well. So anyway, let us take a look at Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin, not much has changed since the last time we talked. There's an obvious resistance level here at around 4,100, between 4,000 and 4,100. The 50-day crossed above the 100-day. Obviously a minor bullish signal. The stochastic RSI is coming from oversold levels. Looks like it's curling upward. The on-balance volume is pretty flat because the volume itself is flat. The MACD is flat. And there was an interesting discussion I had with someone who left a comment on the last video whether this is an ascending triangle or a bear flag. Well, it's really, technical analysis is not an exact science, right? So it's really subjective. When I look at this and you see, yeah, obviously there's a clear pole and it looked like it was turning into a bear flag, but this channel here is so much wider than the length of this pole. So eventually this becomes, you know, either a sideways channel or some sort of wedge that trades horizontally versus a bear flag, where we usually see almost an equal length of the pole and the flag itself before another move down. And bull flags do come, or not bull flags, sorry, but ascending triangles can present themselves as reversal patterns in a downtrend. So that is why it is possible to have an ascending triangle in a downtrend, and it usually acts as a reversal pattern when it is spotted and when it is confirmed. Obviously, this isn't confirmed yet, so it is forming an ascending triangle, a potential ascending triangle. But if we do break to the downside, then the pattern fails and it's not confirmed. Looking at the weekly, I did mention this in the last video, but the 50-week fell below the 100-week, and essentially the last time this happened, it spurred all over a year of sideways trading, and the price actually doubled from 220 around there to over $500. So the price more than doubled the last time this happened. Obviously, it was a gradual move, but it came after a long period of sideways range-bound trading. And so it's not necessary that, you know, we do see a drop-off after the 50-week falls below the 100-week. Now, if you do look at the weekly, yes, this does look like a bear flag, actually. You have the pole, you have a flag, and we could break below the flag if the volume continues to remain shit. However, we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now almost 6 green weeks. If this week ends up green, and for that to happen, we would need to remain above the close of the last candle, so above 39.69. If that happens, 6 green weeks, we haven't seen that since the lead up to the famous bull run that we saw in 2017. The last time that happened was between April and May of 2017. So mixed bullish and bearish signals on the 1 week. Obviously, we're bouncing off of the 200 week convincingly. In my view, it is very realistic that we'll continue range-bound trading for a while before a decisive move up. Now, volume changes everything in crypto. I've said this before, I'll say it again. There aren't very many fundamentals or fundamental drivers in crypto like we do have stocks, right? There's no earnings calls. There's no revenue targets. We don't have a board of executives. There aren't really any product on the market in the mass sense, et cetera, et cetera. So all we have to go by really is price action. And the price action is almost solely determined by volume. And as I said before, the conditions that we see here, you know, on the RSI as well as on the volume side of things and the MACD, the conditions are very similar to when we saw the beginning of a bull run at the end of 2017. And obviously volume brings in momentum, momentum brings in more volume. It's a cyclical relationship, right? So it really all depends on volume. But if we're just going by patterns and indicators, there is a bullish, bearish, mixed signal on Bitcoin. I'm actually contemplating opening a short at 4,100. I said this before, but I'm contemplating opening a short at 4,100 with a tight stop limit, obviously. But just because that has been a point of contention for over 5 months now, is around 4,100. And that is the point that we need to convincingly break above before seeing another bull rally. So it might be a profitable play with low risk. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Looking at the 1 month, if we look at the 1 month, again, the bear flag does look more like a solid pattern on these longer term charts as opposed to the 1 day. But we do see green back-to-back candles on the 1 month, something that hasn't happened again since the famous bull run at the end of 2017. So mixed bullish bearish signals on the 1 month as well. We do see the MACD still trending downwards, hasn't curled up. The on-balance volume has curled up, and we do see that the stochastic RSI is oversold at the same or around the same level that we see back in 2015 when the price started gradually increasing, and the RSI is around the same level that we see there. So in conclusion, I don't have a conclusive projection for Bitcoin. I'm just monitoring the volume and seeing what happens from there. I might put in a short at 4,100 with a tight stop limit just based off of precedence. It is a low risk optimal trade in my opinion, and you want to have as many of those as possible in your portfolio, right? Low risk optimal trades, high risk to reward ratio. All right, let me pause here and say that if you do need help with your technical analysis, or you feel lost, or you need more guidance and books and videos aren't doing it for you, if you want to sign up for one-on-one sessions with me, I do take a max of 10 people per month, and April 1st is coming up. So sign up if you want. Link is in the description, but don't sign up now. Wait until April 1st. So the way that Patreon does its billing, I think you'll get charged twice if you sign up now, and then April 1st comes around. So make sure to wait until April 1st because I don't want you guys getting charged twice. Looking at a couple of other coins that we had winning trades on, ADA bouncing off of this support here. A lot of people posit that Cardano will be added to Coinbase soon, but as we've seen, that isn't really a big driver anymore as we once thought last year. However, it is bouncing off of the support that used to be resistance going all the way back to September, and it is bouncing off of it nicely. We're now up 14% since buying the close above the support on the 1 day. All kinds of golden crosses happening here between the 50 and the 200, between the 100 and the 200, back here between the 50 and the 100. So everything looking bullish for Cardano moving forward. The on-balance volume is steadily increasing, meaning a lot of buy volume and interest is coming into Cardano. The next price target is at this previous resistance that we see here at around 1870 sats. So this will be our next target before climbing up further potentially. Looking at EOS, if we look at EOS, you'll see it has gained 18%, almost 90% since breaking out of this ascending triangle that we spotted here. You see the mini golden cross between the 50 and the 100 happening at the end of February. On balance volume has increased, as you see here. Now, we did see the 200-day act as a major resistance being rejected the minute that it popped above the 200-day back at the last week of February. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, it's clearly a point of resistance, as we do see it pulling back a little bit now. So in this case, I would move my stop limits up in order to protect any profits that I currently have, and wait to see how it reacts to this. The next profit target is at $4.30. We're currently at $4.11. Just a couple of stock trade alerts, and if you're a diamond trader and above level, you will get access to the stock trade alerts. UWT, this is our oil ETF, is currently up over 21% since we bought into it. You do see the 50 flirting with crossing above the 100 on UWT. This is one of my biggest stock holdings, just because this ETF does track oil prices, and it came off of a 3-year low. We haven't seen this low since June 2017, sorry, a 2-year low. So yeah, this is one of my biggest stock holdings. Wheaton Precious Metals, we're currently up almost 10% since entering it, as it broke above this 3-year resistance that has been trying to break since 2016. This is a silver mining company. Looking at the overall market, it's still quite early, but you see that stocks are down a bit today, about 0.5% to 0.75% on each of the major exchanges, the Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, or the 3 indices, I should say. Oil is down almost 1%, gold is down about 0.5%. We might get a Fed rate cut. If you remember, back in December, the Fed raised interest rates, and we might see a reversal of that. We'll continue to monitor the stock market, because there are a couple of pretty big turning points, or possible turning points, coming up. One of the things that I've been watching is the yield curve. Now, for those of you not interested in the stock market, this is going to sound like gibberish to you, but the yield curve is basically the spread between the 3-month Treasury bill and the 10-month Treasury note. And that has usually been a signifier that a recession is on the way. Different economists have different opinions about that, but either way, it is an inflection point historically. So I'll be looking at that. Obviously, my stop limits are set in place on the stock market, and we'll continue to follow the yield curve. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. If you want help with your technical analysis and are interested in one-on-one coaching, same link, also in the description. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. If you have any questions, hit me up on the Discord. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there. Peace.